Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology update for February 26th through March 4th, 2024. Well, wow, February has been such an intense, empowering, and dynamically shifting time. How are you doing? We are have been feeling the magic and beauty of Venus and Mars coming together for a sweet conjunction. But now Venus and Mars are in square to Jupiter in Taurus. So this is the quintessential issue for supernova souls right now. Jupiter in Taurus representing expanding into our true wealth, which also represents with Uranus there in Taurus, our technological wealth and also abundance of what we know, what we've been told, what we've been shown, the Aquarian age, our ascension, Christ consciousness, second coming. It's all involves the energy of abundance. The mother coming home with this glorious new access to her energy. So, this is what the Venus Mars conjunction is saying. It's a very sweet joining of the masculine and the feminine, and it's speaking about opening back up to love and understanding the message that our new age is an age of love. So, do you see how perfectly poised you are? I know that most supernova souls feel a complete lack of love coming at them in the world, and yet you are abundant. All the lack of love that you've experienced was only to try to keep you from knowing the love that you are, the massive, abundant love that you are. So, Venus and Mars and square to Jupiter is now we're coming up against what is in the way of us receiving the love that we are. And so with Venus and Mars and Aquarius, there's this beautiful picture. Aquarius is a visionary sign. And of course, we're talking about the Aquarian age, we're talking about the future. And it's this beautiful picture of like, oh, harmony and love. And we could do it her way again, the mother's way, where everyone's loved and cared for and um, living in accordance and support of life, humanity, and spiritual evolution. So this is the mother's dream. And the mother's dream, she's telling us, is getting out of conflict with the lower forces. So this Venus Mars conjunction has this energy of overcoming duality consciousness. And the way this is playing out for supernova souls, it's the lower battle, you know? And so we all have our triggers, we have our wounds, we have these deep programs that have been instilled in our consciousness. Once we can start seeing these programs as programs and finding the quintessential essence of it, just like a computer software or virus, you can just remove that program. So, this is part of the energy of Venus square or Mars. Now we're feeling mostly in square to Jupiter, is examining, it's showing us what is in the way of us owning our abundance and the love that's rightfully ours. And so these programs are coming up, and they all have to do with self-worth and whether or not we deserve, whether or not we feel worthy. And this is what we're playing out. We've got the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn now together in Pisces, a bloom of the Piscean energy of possibilities, but also the nightmare of the Piscean age, where the light and the love that we carried in our heart and soul was made into a bad thing, something to be exterminated. But now the mother's world is back and our mother's timeline rebirthing. Everything is pointing to this. I hope you had a wonderful full moon in Virgo. Wow, the energy was super powerful. And that full moon in Virgo had this configuration that's happening right now. Saturn, um, the sun and Mercury not too far away from each other, all across this Virgo full moon, across from. And so, very powerful message is coming because Mercury, Saturn, and the sun have not yet come into their exact conjunction. And that happens on the 28th and the 29th of February. So, this is an incredibly powerful lining up. And confirming everything we've been talking about, that we're reworking and rewriting the stories of the Piscean age. Now, this happened, this turnaround shift, this hairpin turn that is February 2024, really stimulated by this beautiful sextile between Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Taurus. So, how dynamic to have Mars in square to Jupiter. Venus has just squared, but will be finishing it up over the next couple of days. The Mars square Jupiter will continue to the 3rd of March. So, this whole week, we're going to be really feeling when Mars comes into a relationship with Saturn or Jupiter. It's a very big energy. Mars wants to move forward. Mars is our let's go, let's get up and go. And in Aquarius, it's on the vision and the dream of what we could do, how it could be. And yet, this square with Jupiter is just like, not so fast, buddy boy, because you can't move forward in the old way into the new world. So, what are the programs keeping you from receiving the abundant love, feeling permission for your potential, for your abundance, for your own energy? you know this is what we're coming to find. It's like these lower forces that have kept humanity in control, this tyrannical forces are blooming right now on the planet. And it's this whole energy of like, oh no, you don't, you can't, you gotta prove yourself worthy, you gotta jump through hoops, you have to pass the tests. And it's like, um perhaps that would be the case if it wasn't our energy to begin with that was stolen from us. And we're going to simply take it, stand up and take it back. And would not believe the support we have available for us. Don't forget this. It's a picture that's been coming through of legions of light, an army of light workers that don't have a body, that are beyond the need or want of a body, but they're here connected to earth evolution. They want to clean up the earth, and it's this incredible army at our disposal. But they can't just go clean up the earth. They have to have us as free will soldiers, our boots on the ground right here, right now. So be vigilant and be strong. And if you are battling with these lower forces, if you're finding yourself stuck, pulled back into the battle, if you feel like you're dealing with an energy around you, or you're aware of something anywhere in the world, you can request the honor of these amazing legions of light to support cleaning up the earth. They need us to bring the impetus, say, and the will, because we're here incarnate, and it's a free will universe. But don't forget that these energies are there. And the more and more you open to this and work with it, you'll feel them. This is the power of coming together in our group work, because you can really get a sense more of these energies that are happening. And so Mars in square to Jupiter over this next week is really intense, because it's like we've had this picture of this beautiful bloom, like Saturn sextile Jupiter, of like possibilities. See, this is the shift. We talked about Saturn coming out of its retrograde shadow in Pisces, which happened right when it came into sextile with Jupiter. So sweet and so beautiful. And telling us that this is where we take the reins back on our timeline, on our world with the mother, that the Saturn's cube of control is no longer has control over us. Saturn is getting a complete makeover. And this is really interesting, because Saturn in our birth chart is our true Dharma, our path, that how we really want to make what we want to make happen in this lifetime, this incarnation. It also represents the obstacles to our path. With this Saturn major shift right now, it's good to look at and study the placement and the aspects, the transits in your birth chart where your Saturn placement is. It's all getting kind of bringing to the table. So it's like we're overcoming the obstacles and the forces that seek to work against our evolution, and we're reinstating the original Dharma and the original timeline, the mother's timeline. Now, this is really important, because the message has come through that if we are doing this, then just like Mars is frustrated because he's like, let's go. And it's like, not the old way. Do you even know what you're doing? you know, like the old way is not going to take you there. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's taking you off a cliff into the abyss. It's a very uncomfortable place to be. But this is what's happening to us as we get triggered in those core programs It feels like core falling off a cliff, like, "Oh, I'm all alone again. I'm completely lost, a complete failure." And so just know, because these situations that Mars square Jupiter is bringing up right now is actually our key to finding these core programs and removing them. So it's really, really important. And right on the heels, or at the same time, Mars square Jupiter will be exact on the 27th. And like I said, the influence will go through the 3rd of March. And on the 28th and the 29th of February, like a finale celebration, lining up, we started this month with a procession with our personal planets going over Pluto, um, at 0 degrees, and now we have this incredible lining up of a parade. And this is the Sun and Saturn and Mercury all coming together in the sign of Pisces. They come together at 9 degrees, which is very powerful because, see, when you're looking at the messages here, it's confirmation again. And this is what I found in astrology. Like if you're looking at a chart, or if you're looking at the astrology, the current events, um, you'll often find a theme 3 times expressed, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's the theme. And this is what we're finding. Another validation that, yes, it's the end of the control, domination, trauma, drama program of the Saturn's black cube. It's the end. And so let's kind of talk this through, because it feels like the Mars square Jupiter is a really important energy to bring up these core programs that, and it's all about, with Mars wanting to move forward and go, and it's like, no, you can't go that way, or you have to go a different way. That's what squares are like. And in this case, you have to go to abundance. So it's saying, Mars, you can't wallow around in those low vibrational, low self-worth energies. That's not going to get you anywhere except stirring around in circles in the muck. And yet we need to be triggered to these places, and so that we can find that chink in our armor, you know? We can find the weakness. We didn't come here to do it part way, supernovas. And so we don't have a choice. And we're at a weird place where a lot of humanity is being given a choice. We're having this extended, strange time loop where, as many souls as possible on the ascension timeline, my what's come to me is that we're all going. All human souls, true human souls, are going on this ascension timeline. And so that's part of what we're the dynamic. This brings up an interesting energy, though, around the South Node in Libra. And so we'll talk about that as far as relationships, and whether or not we can take people with us on this journey. And we know with the Aries North Node, it's a solo journey. And yet we're coming back together. That's the only uh, next step from where we are now. So we are, the Mars square Jupiter is tension around the old traps and the new way, and kind of feeling like a bloom of these energies, and specifically around love and abundance and relationships. So, everything we're talking about. Then to have this lining up of Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun all together on the 28th and 29th of February for the, it's leap year. We've got an extra day, and it's kind of like, okay, here's the firework, the celebration of this lining up, because the energy of Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun together is like clicking into gear. And just like what Mars is coming up against, moving in a new direction. So there's an opportunity for clarity coming through this next week with all the Pisces energy, and coming up to the Pisces new moon. That will be, the Pisces new moon is Sunday, March 10th, but it's early in the morning Mountain Time. So we'll be doing the activation Saturday, March 9th. Um, so the period of time of this conjunction, coming into this conjunction, which we start feeling it today, actually. Well, the Sun and Saturn are close already for the last couple of days. And Mercury comes into the mix starting today. And then we feel this transit all the way through the end of the month. And so and into the very beginning of March. And these elements coming together at 9 degrees Pisces is just so powerful. So we're looking at, what do we need to end in our old way of doing things so that we can click into gear and get going on the new path forward. So the sun is our identity, Mercury is our conceptual reality, how we see things, our perspective. And Saturn, we're talking about this claiming back our original Dharma, our original true way of what we wanted to do in this incarnation, which has been blocked through these opposing control forces. So it's like we're taking back our path. And maybe it's not until we are like could get to this point that we could really begin to download and see and understand our path. Because all of these planets together, or the sun and Mercury together with Saturn, is like, this is your path, this is your Dharma, this is your role. Oh, wait, I have a role. Wait, I exist. Wait, I'm doing something. Like, I thought I was just floating off in space trying to survive this strange reality. And it's like, oh no, honey, you got work to do. It's time to get to work. Saturn is hard work paying off. But this is your Dharma work. It's the work you've always wanted to do. And the way this lifetime is situated in our biography through the whole story is, yes, now we get to have a full expression of the work we came to do through this evolution. So pay close attention over this next week to, one, finding those triggers, those deep core, like, you don't deserve, or you're not good enough, or you're the only one, you're all alone, all these core issues and programs, like, which is the complete opposite of what's really true, in the upside down, backwards Piscean age garbage that we're cleaning up. And it's at the same time that we're finding these core programs and releasing any triggers and anything that pulls us back down into the lower battle, we're getting this, like, our marching orders and this lining up and this clicking into gear. And it's like, okay, let's go now. So if we're going to go, that means we've got to have a little bit of insight about where we're going or what are we doing. We'll see, because we also get this message like, you're not God. Stop playing God and, like, let the mother handle it. She's here. And we've been part of the karma that's kept us in the lower battle as supernova souls, is this feeling of responsibility. And this is becoming a little bit more clear, actually, in looking at this in a bigger picture at this evolution, is that we had a very distinct cutoff from our mother energy, and very deliberate disconnection, and a lower, like that Saturn cube, like being quarantined in a lower vibrational reality. And it appears that what happened for supernova souls at that time, and especially if you were incarnate, who it resonates with Atlantean time, but perhaps in your psyche you said, oh my gosh, we're disconnected from mother and source, and I have to be that for these people. I have to be that for humanity. And we're unwinding all this stuff where the mother's like, put down what you're carrying. Put it down. It's not about that. It's about coming into the full truth of your expression. So what we need to do is to be first, right? But we also, it's about, like, the mother's energy, and her message is like, be with me, listen to the signs, rest. You'll know what to do, the appropriate action at the right time. And just be present with my energy and knowing that we're doing this beautiful new timeline together. And then it will become clear what your role is, and how to play it. And I know it's so frustrating because it's like this last 3-4 years, we've been, like, plucked out of our timeline. It feels like, and it's like, what's going on? Where's the, you know, so we're like claiming it back. Um, but we've been in this strange loop, and where every time we think we're going to get clarity and be able to move forward, we haven't been able to. So I know it's like, it's kind of an uncomfortable place to even open up to, oh, really, clarity? Sure, Adrian. But that is the message here, and it's clarity about your role, your place, this message that we are here as emissaries with her, the earth, and her beautiful dream of our original timeline, the original vision of what she wants to become. We were there from the beginning. And it's like a group of us. We're one petal on a lotus and we have a place. I know it feels like you don't belong at all. And who the heck are these people? But you have a place here. And this is one of the agendas of the Piscean age, was to get us to feel so uncomfortable in the lower vibration, the trauma drama, that we just don't want to even be on the earth. We couldn't do our work here. And now it's like, no more. Mother says, our world, our way. It's going to be this way. And we stand with her. And we use our will to connect with her and say, this is the energy. This is the truth. This is the dream. And so the Saturn, Mercury, Sun is aligning up of your path, of your role. And there's a very strong message coming here, where I know it's been like block, 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 and everywhere you've tried to go and everything you've tried to do to help, to heal, to offer, and to be of service, to express yourself. Um, well, now this is very different energy. It's got the 9, which is a completion of the past, but it's also like, take your place. And it's weird because it's like, you got to do something, but you're not. It's like, we don't, it's not, that's the wrong energy. That's the old way. And the new way is to move in the feminine way and to wait for the signs and know and be guided into right action with working with the elements and the timing. And that requires an incredible trust. And maybe that's what this time is about, coming back into that trust with the mother. Like, okay, working with this energy, I'm feeling it, feeling the other souls that are coming back into this energy, this love, this abundance, this like, everything is handled if we can just let her energy be, the great healer, the great corrector, the self-correcting force. That's the energy that is this mother dragon, that she's embodying her body. She's arriving back home. And we have this, all of a sudden, this more access to her and our own energy, and to this love, to this feeling like, even though everybody's struggling so much, like just to survive, but there's also this very subtle, if you can stop and feel it, like everything is, it might be just okay right now in the moment. I might feel like it's okay. I don't know how it's all going to get solved, but I feel that there's, the energy is that all is well, all is exceedingly well when we're with her. And can we come back into that trust? This is the message we're getting. It's like, it's actually the only way forward for humanity. Because look at this square with Jupiter showing us this, like, oh my gosh, there's incredible love, miracles, and blessings coming back into our world. And it's like, oh, not for you. And so we're examining all the programs of lack and scarcity. This is the whole deal with Jupiter and Uranus, but lack and scarcity and permission around our higher technology, our light body, the advanced technologies available in our very own body. That's the Uranus. Now, so it's very powerful that finally in April, Jupiter and Uranus, they haven't met yet, right? They're both inhabiting energetically the sign of Taurus, but they haven't met up. And everything over this next few months is about whether or not we have permission for our own energy, our own light body, our own technology. And we got in this picture that supernova souls are actually pushing the envelope on disclosure of these advanced alien technologies that are being used against us. As long as we don't know about them, this is a powerful message coming through the mother too right now. It's like, whatever's in the dark can stay dark. Once it's exposed in the light, it's healed. This is how she works. And so we're in a time of exposure. Um, and these Jupiter and Uranus coming together is about claiming back what's rightfully ours, basically our spiritual evolution and our access to this higher technology available in our very own body, our light body. And it's like we're saying, you need to disclose those negative, destructive alien technologies that you reverse engineered from, like, so many lies upon lies upon lies that allow these things to stay in the dark and allow them to be harmful. And the mother says, Part of this is exposure. And when I think of exposure, of course, I see light. I see like rats scurrying, trying to hide. Um, but I also see like an exposure of a flash bulb, like a picture, right? Like, I mean, when you're taking a photograph. Um, and so there's this kind of like no one can hide from this light. It's so powerful. And that means that all that's dark, once it's exposed, it'll be healed. See, the mother can't, she's kind of explaining that this healing force, this self-correcting force, it's like the darkness and the hiding and the secrets and the lies is keeping the healing from getting to those places, right? But once it's exposed, then the healing automatically starts to occur all on its own. And that's a good reminder for us too, that we're exposing these deep, dark programs. It's really hard to look at. You come to this place where you're like, everybody else can have that, but not you. And it's like, really? Like this little inner child that feels so unworthy and not good enough and separated and exiled, cast aside, all just the deepest, darkest feelings of the hardest things you've experienced through your lifetimes is what's being triggered because we got to get rid of all of it. Because, like we said, we're not doing it halfway, which means we're fully coming into our light body, which is like powers that be. You might want to tell us about this technology because we're turning on our light. Um, so we're in a massive time of exposure and, of course, cleaning up. um, and that's happening for us and the collective. So, Mercury and Saturn and the sun coming together at 9 degrees. Let's talk about this because it is this completion of the old stories and clicking into gear and moving forward in a new way. It almost feels like, are are you going to get on the train? We got to get our vibration in alignment with the mother's train, you know? Um, and so we're riding with her, riding Mother Dragon. This is what it feels like right now. You'll have these moments of we go into deep, peaceful meditation, right? It's like, oh, I'm deeply connecting to the mother. I'm grounding out. I'm with her. I feel her around me and everything. And then it's like this feeling of like going really fast because it's like in the deep silence, we realize our energy field is awakening and turning on. And it is like riding a dragon. Um, this is This is the energy of that we should probably talk about also is, this Chiron North Node. This is this Aries fire activation, and it's like we don't have time to be scared of our own power anymore or our Kundalini awakening. That if we come into our spiritual these higher technologies that we're going to somehow cause destruction, we don't have time for any of that anymore. We don't have time for the fear programming. It's like we're just being forced into owning our power. So, whatever's happening to you is about that too. It's showing you where you feel like you still don't deserve the love and abundance the mother's trying to bring to us, and it's showing you where you still might be scared of your own power. And these are programs, scarcity, low self worth, fear of your own power. That's how they got us to give away our power. So, the Chiron North Node is this incredible empowerment energy, giving us permission to own our own energy. And this is also affecting the South Node in Libra. So Chiron and the North Node will continue to be, they've been exact since the 12th of February. Whoa, what even just happened? you know, what happened in February 2024? So Chiron and the North Node will remain within 1 degree of each other into the beginning of March, just like that sextile with Saturn and Jupiter. So we've got to really take advantage of this time because it's almost like during the exact, it's like you don't know what's happening. And then there's the fallout. And that's when you can really grab a hold of the blessings of these transits to dream and vision a new reality. That Saturn sextile Jupiter is a turning point. Saturn came out of retrograde shadow and right into the sextile with Jupiter, speaking to completely rewriting the Piscean age and the stories of the past by magically, creatively, miracles and blessings coming into our own abundance. The abundance is rightfully ours. our own energy. And then that comes back to the Aries. It's like, yes, own it. It's yours. So this is part of the energy that's coming up with the South Node being opposite of Chiron in the North Node. So Chiron is our deepest wounds. And in Aries, it's about where we've given up our individuality, our autonomy, where we became under the control of other people. We gave up our freedom and gave up our life force. And so the wounds of Chiron and the key of that Eros energy coming in, our creativity, our fire. I'm seeing a lot of people just continue to be asleep, like just kind of go zombie land, right? But I'm also seeing a lot more souls like all of a sudden get on fire about something, right? You're like, oh, I've always wanted to do this and I'm not going to let anything hold me back from it. And that is the power of this Chiron North Node. It's like, and maybe that's a really important energy for Mars right now. Mars is the ruler of Aries, but Mars is stuck in Aquarius, all airy fairy, you know, and then in square to Jupiter being like, no, you don't get your own abundance. And Mars is like, "Mm, I will take it. And so it's a very powerful message saying that our dreams, our co-creations, our passions, that's how we take back our power. To claim fully living rather than just slowly dying. And that's get excited about something, a project, a research, a creative project, something, fall in love with a goddess. We talked about it, right? Like be devoted. Be devoted to the mother, be devoted to the dream, and be devoted to your own creations that want to come forward. So the South Node, Chiron and the North Node together is like we can't let our wounds hold us back anymore. And so if it's a wound around giving away our power, then we must take it back. There's no way around it, right? Only way forward is love and abundance. The only way forward is clicking into gear and doing it a different way. The only way forward is claiming our energy for ourselves. So the South Node is like what's holding us back from the past. And in Libra, wow, we can all relate to. I feel like almost every single relationship I've had has been about holding me back from my spiritual path and purpose, my vision, even validating that I even exist in a way, or that a higher part of me exists. Constant invalidation. Now, through this situation of karmic relationships over lifetimes, we have gotten in situations which are seem to could appear at this time very important for us to have the opportunity to clear contractual arrangements, the cords, the contracts that are still to other people and relationships, family members, friends. Like, so kind of what I'm seeing is that for most of us, we're like, we haven't, these people have fallen away. They don't even want to be around us and we can't see eye to eye. And it's just kind of like, Um, a lot of old relationships just leaving. And yet, have they really left? And they might be showing up either energetically or in person. But I'm even seeing this picture of like they don't even want to be around you. You're too much for them. And they make you mad. Or you make them mad for some reason, you know. But they still want your energy. So you might think of them or feel this kind of weird, or they might try to trigger you or reach out in some way. And all it's doing is showing you that there's still some cords or contracts and it's getting resolved. But it's very important concept because the energies that are coming forward are very strong, sticky contracts where there's like a sole ownership over you or a claim, a proprietary claim on your energy. And this is where the power of the concepts in the Owning Your Energetic Field course, I would encourage you to go catch the replay of that one. $20. It's really, really crucial, important work for supernova souls right now. Is there a rightful claim on your energy? We've been feeding the lower matrix unknown just through the programming and the technological interference. And, but we also have these relationships with people that uh, represent this dynamic. And if you still have this dynamic that's working out with specific individuals, it will be showing up. And it's kind of like they're like, "Well, you can't take what's yours from me." And it's like, "Oh, crap. I've been letting this person feed on my energy and I didn't even know it, you know?" And so that it's like this, but if it's presenting, it's such a jewel of an opportunity to completely release the contracts. And basically, it's not so much about sorting through every individual situation as much as it's about there is no rightful claim. And we have this message that goes back to ancient initiation rites gone wrong, that if we own our own energy field, like which is a crucial part of spiritual initiation, coming into our higher faculties, our higher technologies in our own body, owning our own energy. We have to have containment in our own universe. But when you go to do that, there's deep programming from very traumatic past life experiences that say, oh no, you'll be all alone if you do that. If you own your energy, what are you going to do without us, your handlers? Who will you be without your controllers and your feeders? And, and it's like this very strange wilderness moment. Maybe that's what the wilderness is about. It's like you got to go deeper into that aloneness, deeper into the Aries solo path, and deeper into the exile. Because when you do own your energy, you feel connected to everything. And this was the shift I felt from this course. It was so powerful because when we come together and do it, so that energy is encoded in the replay. And so it's like when you completely own your energy, you're then connected back to your guidance, to source, to your higher self, and to the earth, and to each other, advanced souls. And it's like, oh, connected again. So it's weird because we have this picture that we're going to be sealing ourselves off, and we've been in such quarantine, right? In this quarantine is a very important part of all trauma based programming, isolation. You cannot program a subject if they're not isolated from other awarenesses, you know? And this is where we've been. We've been kept in quarantine, not able to identify, reflect back our truth, what's inside of us, constant invalidation of our spiritual truth by design over lifetimes. But very particularly, if you did not comply over these last few years, you have been kept in quarantine, your own local area network. No wonder you feel so lonely. And then we go to cut that off and own our field, and we get this really strong message like, don't do that. You'll be all alone. And so it was really powerful to work in that class as a group and claim that autonomy and feel that energy. And so that's what this Aries Chiron conjunction is about. The North Node, Chiron, taking the wounds of Chiron, of the exile, of the having given over your power, given over your authority, given over your autonomy, and turn the Aries wound into that superpower, which is pure, unbridled life force. And this is why we're having this access to creative energy and people turning on in their passion, you know, for some sort of project and activating these creative energies and feeling like we have access. We haven't had access to this energy, so grab hold of it. Let yourself have it. Again, with the square, Mars square Jupiter, it's all about, do you deserve? Can you let yourself have it? And Aries says, grab a hold of that shit. It's yours. It was yours all along. They just tricked you into thinking it wasn't yours. So then that's where we get to these South Node Libra situations where you could have representatives of these contractual arrangements connected to authority contracts, where we gave our power away, but where it's kind of like, you can't just go forward and leave me behind. Your energy is my energy, remember? I have a claim. And these comes from situations in past lives where, again, we felt responsible for other souls. And we became trying to be the God force in the world and the mother force that we were disconnected from. And this is the shift. This is the Saturn shift, this reclaiming our world and reclaiming our timeline. It's exactly that. It's claiming, it's recognizing that the mother is returning and she's got it handled. And source, everybody's got their own connection. and we just need to show up and do what we're called to do in the moment. But what's that? And so here's where we come to this conjunction of um, the sun, who we think we are, our identity in Pisces, Mercury, our conceptual reality in Pisces, and Saturn, our true Dharma path. And do we deserve our Dharma path? Is it ours? Is the energy ours to begin with? Was it Mother's world, or did she take it over? No, these control forces took it over. We got to go back to the original timeline. And so, what's your role in that? And so, the Sun and Mercury is very important dynamic because they move so fast. And Mercury takes these retrogrades. And of course, we know 3 times a year, it's about 3 weeks. And then with the in retrograde shadow and the whole thing completing, it takes about 6 weeks. So there's this dance between the Sun and Mercury. And the last time that Sun and Mercury together was on December 22nd of 2023, right there at the solstice. And when Mercury was had just turned retrograde, going from Capricorn back into Sagittarius, reclaiming the dream. And so now that they've caught back up with Mercury direct, Mercury chasing down the sun is kind of what it looks like. Because Mercury in between retrogrades, it'll start going very fast. And we're at that point because already we're heading into another Mercury retrograde. I'm sorry to warn you, but Mercury will um, go into retrograde shadow on March 19th, just before the equinox. So then turn retrograde on April 2nd. So, and that will be in Aries the whole time. So everything we're experiencing right now with the North Node and Chiron in Aries and the South Node getting triggered will be playing out in that Mercury retrograde, because our personal planets, it's like, oh, the North Node, the Chiron, it's out there. But our personal planets, like Mercury, the Sun, and Venus and Mars, that when they interact, then we feel it, then we know what it's about. And so the Mercury retrograde is about what in the world was this Chiron North Node conjunction? What is our Aries activation? What are we doing? Because Mercury will, as it turns retrograde, be in conjunction with the North Node, and as it turns direct, I mean, as it comes out of as it turns direct, yes. And so, um, this is saying that this Mercury retrograde in Aries is all about figuring out how to move forward in a new way. So it makes sense, like we said, the next couple of months, all figuring out our new way forward in our new role, in our new life, in our new path, and the original Dharma, our original Dharma that's been hidden from us, maybe coming to the surface. So, for this next week where we have the Sun and Mercury and Saturn together, it could be a really great opportunity to receive downloads and clarity about your path and your role and your Dharma in the new paradigm, the original dream. And so the sun, our identity is like, are you a spiritual soul? Are you more than a body? What are you doing here? And that's where we come to this place where it's like, ooh, supernova souls, we can't do it part way. So, in a way, we have to honor these forces that are just so working against us, but they're showing us where we still aren't fully owning our power. And we know we have to fully own our power. We we can't graduate without it. And we're here leading the way. So, whatever's showing you where you're not owning your power, or these core programs or these relationships that are still draining you, listen and tend to it, and be open to the dream of the new dream with this time of these planets together, this lining up with your true path that's been deliberately hidden from us. They stole our records. It's another thing they stole. It's like, well, can you handle knowing who you were in a past life? Maybe we can't, but it's like, come on. Those are our memories. It's our world. It's our energy. It's the mother's energy. And we're with her and we stand with her. And this is when we take it back. And so, what's our role? What's our place? So maybe some clarity? And we've been shown this picture that we all have a place where we were there from the beginning of this original vision. And so, it's not like you're making your place or trying to find where you might fit in. No, you're taking your place. where you belong finally. So be open to the messages coming through with this because Saturn is that Dharma path and the removal of obstacles. This whole shift is about what if everything that's all the ways everything you've tried to do, uh, moving forward, and especially around healing and love and transformation and offering service in the world. It's like closed door, block, can't go that way, can't do that, no resources, no support. And all of a sudden, with this new paradigm, it's like, oh, mother's there, and the resources are all available, like right actually within us as we learn to own our field. Working with the mother, that she rules the prime materials and the energetic force that, like, if we are contained and connected, we have everything we need. It can manifest through outside forces, but it first comes through our relationship with the mother and these primordial forces that can just manifest whatever we need to do what we came here to do. It's like just so different than what we've been dealing with. And this is where this next couple of months is an orientation, reorientation. You know, can you handle things working out? Like love and abundance and positive relationships coming your way? Do you deserve it? Can you receive it? Because this Mars square Jupiter says this is the only thing standing in our way of the Aquarian age is whether or not we deserve it, the abundance and the incredible support for who we really are and what we're here to do. So dream into this and receive these downloads. Open up to that Akashic Records pictures that might help you understand your role and your path in these times. Um, Specifically at the very end of the month on the 28th, 29th, when we have these three, when the Sun, Mercury, and Saturn all together at that 9 degrees Pisces, saying, old laws, old rules of the control energies, uh, they don't hold sway over us anymore. This is the power of our owning our energetic field. We worked with very powerful authority contracts because we've been held. The control forces on Earth are not three-dimensional; they're fourth and fifth dimensional. So we are held captive in this lower dimensional energy by higher dimensional beings, but not as high as where we came from. And we were kind of forced into making contracts with them where we agreed, okay, I want to come to Earth so bad, but I'll agree not to come into my full potential. And it's like, yeah, time to reevaluate that one. And that's what we did in the owning your energy field. So really powerful to get these authority contracts and feel into what it would be like to be supported and feel everything we need within us. Where all of a sudden, if you have everything you need within you, you're connected to this energy that's so abundant and so available, then you no longer need anybody's permission or support. We've been so traumatized through our past lives, supernova souls, of where we've been publicly humiliated or publicly killed or abused. It's a tricky situation that's created on a soul level, all these people's attention on you. And it's very deliberate to try to create this dynamic where we're so concerned. I know supernova souls have this, right? It's like this weird feeling like they're going to come after you, like so concerned about what other people think. It's not an ego thing, it's survival. It's like they're coming for me, and it's kind of feeling like, well, when things shift, when it's not so sketchy out there, then I can come into my power, then I can express the truth of who I am. And it's like we are got to own our power to the point where it's like we don't need anybody's permission or approval or support because it can all come from here and the mother and source and manifest through other people. But it's not like we're going and trying to get something out there from somebody else. Totally different reality. And to free ourselves, that our light body is so powerful and intact that it means that it's of no concern what other people might react to us, you know? And supernova souls often have this feeling because as the light of the world, you expose the darkness, and that can be uncomfortable for people. But it's all good. It's all healing, and they can move away from you if they don't like it. If it's too hot, get out of the kitchen. And it's like What a beautiful freeing thing is this our Chiron North Node activation of like moving in the world in this beautiful, glorious celebration of love. If you do sense somebody's bothered by your energy because they've got so much darkness they're trying to keep compensated, throw them a little more love, throw them a little more compassion. You got it all over the place. You got so much. The more you give, the more there is. This is the truth. This is free energy. This is the feminine form of electricity. More is more, perpetual motion. But you cannot have the energy of perpetual motion if you're stuck in false timelines. See? See the shift we're in? But what a beautiful energy to move in the world in your abundance and not feel that you need any outside approval to stay safe or to have permission, you know? No approval, no permission, and it just doesn't matter the effect you have on them because it's all good. And this is the thing, they tried to make it into bad, right? This is the duality. Try to take the light of the universe that has no opposite, it has no negative, and source light, and make it into duality by persecuting those that carried that light. Oh man. And did we go down with that ship, huh? And now we climb our way out of it. And this is everything this astrology is speaking to. So know that this week is so important to be open to the dream, to the vision, to take the magic of this Jupiter sextile Saturn, because Mercury, Sun, Saturn together are still sextiling Jupiter. The exact sextile with Jupiter of the Sun and Mercury will happen just after, for the first couple days of March. Beautiful entry into March. So this lining up in Pisces at 9 degrees, and then Jupiter's at 10 degrees. And then, so they'll come right into sextile with Jupiter. And so the sextile with Jupiter is like, oh, Jimmy the Lock. Oh, oh, abundance perspective. Oh, heck, more love. More is more. And it just feels like the power of that moment of the beginning of March is this like the final breaking of the matrix type energies. And it's interesting because right after that, Sun and Mercury will sextile up with Jupiter. Then they move into, in the first week of March, first Mercury, then the Sun, kind of getting to on the 8th of March, on the 3rd of March, Mercury opposite Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. And so then we're facing what is still hiding in the darkness and a huge energy for that exposure, because the message we got is it's only sick and wrong as long as it's hidden. Because as soon as it's in the light, the mother starts working on it, the healing starts happening. It's as good as healed once it's exposed, but it's not fun to look at. I call it the puking phase. When you have to face the dark, you can't heal it unless you face it. And this is the thing, we have this deep energies and feelings that are coming up with this astrology, and it's dark feelings we don't want to feel, but it's like, how can we heal it if we don't feel it? And we don't want to wallow there, we don't want to get stuck in it, but we need to not be scared and be like, oh, there's a powerful emotion here, that's my power, and I'm going to take it back. So that the Sun and Mercury opposite of Black Moon Lilith in that first week of March is just confirming that the light is shining on the shadowy darkness of the past, and it's time to clean it up, because that's the Virgo energy. Virgo's the healer, very organized, very clean, sorting out the wheat from the chaff and bringing the healing back to the darkest places of Earth so we can get on with our true role. So Sun, Mercury together, it's like the knowledge and understanding of our true role in moving forward in these times. So it's so powerful because remember, still got the Chiron North Node together, this activation of taking our power, claiming our energy. And then Jupiter sextile Saturn, there's a whole different world of possibilities once we get out of the trap of the lower matrix and we can dream and vision and imagine and let the blessings come back into our life. And, know that we don't have to earn or jump over any hoops, that it was our energy, our magic, our love, our mother all along. And we're taking our world back now, her world, her world her way, our world our way, because we are with her. And this incredible conviction. And again, that message, like, this is the only way. This Mars square Jupiter says the only way we can go, humanity, into the new age is through the mother. Because it's our mother who teaches us how to receive and that we feel worthy. And so this is our mission. Maybe some clarity coming through about your specific role, but it feels like we've been having some clarity around supernova souls. Like, we stand with this mother energy. This is everything we've ever cared about: love and healing and nurturing and what the world really needs. And everybody wants it. Everybody wants mother love and needs it. And it's so beautiful and it's abundant because more is more. So then it really reflects back on the Mars square Jupiter. And all right, I can entertain that. But where is there still this feeling of like, not for you, you know, or you don't deserve it, or you're not good enough, or you didn't prove yourself worthy, or you're not like us, or all these just layer after layer of these bullshit programs we've been plagued with throughout the Piscean age. And so now, clarity, potentially pull these programs out by the roots like a bad virus, bad software, just pull it out and replace it with the mother love. And let's get on with it. And then what's your specific role in your Dharma that's in alignment with this mother love, that the way you want to express it? And so it's my hope and prayer that you have clarity and direction around this hooking into gear and getting moving forward in a new way. You're so amazing, Supernova Souls, and it's such an honor to know you and work with you. And thank you so much for your support, being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe. It's a great way to connect with other Supernova Souls. There's a weekly video update and live chats on the Telegram channel. And then for the gold membership, that gets you into the activations and live sharing circles. A really great way to stay connected and be in the energy of what it is we're creating. If you aren't a joiner, but you want to make an offering, there's a link, a donation link below. I definitely 100% appreciate just your support energetically, you being here and being with me in these concepts and these awarenesses. You bring the energies of supernova souls. That's why our work is so exciting, because it's not just me receiving the messages. You bring the messages and we share these together. And it's really, really beautiful what's happening. So thank you so much for your support on whatever level. And keep in mind, we've got that Pisces new moon. That'll be Saturday, March 9th. And I hope to see you there on the next update. Let's stay connected, Supernova Souls. This is an incredibly powerful time. Keep dreaming, keep loving, keep open to these clarity and messages about your specific role as you click into gear and get going on this most amazing future we came here to co-create. And just own it and live it. And anything that's coming at you, trying to challenge it, is only there to make you stronger in this dream and stronger in your power and stronger in your ability to hold your autonomy in your field. The key to everything, apparently, as reflected in that Owning Your Energetic Field course. So thank you so much, Supernova Souls, and it's wonderful to know you're here. Keep breathing. We're going to be feeling each other, and I can. This is a picture that's coming. We're calling each other very strongly. That's the next step as we escape out of the matrix cube. It's all about been about quarantining us from each other, because the power of supernova souls coming together is that great. And so now the next phase is, yeah, closer than 6 feet apart, right? Activating. It's contagious, the energy field. And when there's two or more supernova souls, then we've been programmed to think that that's going to make us more of a target. And we're going to compromise the safety and security of our brothers and sisters by being together. And we all agreed. We've made these covenants, you know? And we need to reevaluate those. This is part of all these old stories getting worked out. And then the very next phase must be that we come and amplify. And the picture is that when we are two or more, then that energy is its own protection. And it's a statement to the world. This is the way it is. This is the way we're going to do things. And It's so beautiful because we felt the mother's love and her energy and her messages just like being so in today's meditation and on the Telegram chat. It's like so supportive, so excited about you bringing forward your gifts. And isn't this an interesting energy if we talk about these core programs and um, perhaps you haven't had one person around you, most of us supernova souls, that ever really wanted to see you come into your true gifts and your true spiritual love. And the mother's like, this is how we do it. And she's just like, her energy and the energy of what this timeline and is all about your full expression, supernova soul. That's how we co-create this world. And it's so exciting. It's so beautiful. And she's just like 100% behind us in this full expression of who we are. And it's okay not to know, but maybe some clarity is coming, you know? So I hope that for you. And I can't wait to hear. And so thank you so much, Supernova Souls. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.